3 reasons why guys aren't getting girlfriends in 2026. Number 1 is they're treating girls like a test they have to pass. They're overthinking every message, trying to impress instead of connect, and are too worried about saying the wrong thing. Number 2 is they keep their guard up. I get it, masculine energy and all, but sometimes you gotta relax. Girls love when guys open up. It feels like you finally trust them. Don't push her away and ask for help. Number 3 is you're using dating apps like Hinge and Tinder. Seriously, when do you expect that to ever work? Those are known as the hookup apps. If you're still a little bit too nervous to find the girl in person and want to stay online, I suggest trying Cuffed. It's a dating app where you can only match with one person at a time, which is so nice because everybody on there is actually looking for a real relationship. Let me know if you think I'm wrong.
I don't understand how dating in 2026 got this bad. Like, everybody's talking to multiple people. Nobody wants to define anything. You catch feelings and suddenly you're moving too fast. You ask where things are going and now you're too intense. So basically you just got to sit there, be cool, pretend you don't want what you want, and hope they pick you. That's a competition nobody signed up for.
Where are the good men at? Where are the good men in Kansas City? When I talk to men about dating, a lot of the things that I get back is they just want validation. They just want attention. They just want someone to pay for their dinner. That may be true, but the women that are coming to my events are good, intentional women. This Wednesday, May 6th, it is Salsa with Singles, and we're going to be doing salsa, and then we will have many speed dating rounds after. We're going to have sangria, we're going to have margaritas. If you are interested, and if you are looking for a good woman, click on the link in my bio to sign up for the event Wednesday.
She started with, where are the good men? Like men disappeared by accident. But then she lists what men say they dealing with. And that part sounds real enough. The problem is, she still jumps straight into selling an event instead of fixing the root issue. That is how modern dating work now. Just package the problem and call it a solution. Men are not blind to the game either. They hear intentional women, but they also know what comes with that in real life. A lot of times it is attention, entitlement, and soft pressure with a cute smile. So when men pull back, it is not hate. It is pattern recognition. That is why this conversation keeps going nowhere.
I need to crash out for a second. Since most of you would rather wrangle a mongoose with your bare hands than deal with your single friends, I'm going to tell you a couple of things because I think your single friends are tired. As the resident single friend, I think we're tired. When your friends are complaining about being single, there are certain things that are not helpful hearing. 1, I could never be single. We know. We know you could never be single. We know that. You have a codependency issue. Of course you could never be single. Oh my God, I found my partner on Hinge/Bumble. All you have to do is get out there. Okay, there is literal piss in the dating pool, specifically on dating apps. It is so bad. And a lot of you haven't been on there in 4 to 5 years, so you don't know how bad it is. And the rest of you who found your partner in the last 1 to 2 years don't realize that that was just simply luck. That was luck. You're so beautiful. There's nothing wrong with you. I know that. I was never questioning beauty, competency, personality. I was never questioning any of that. I know I'm great. I'm fantastic. I would make a great partner. You don't need to affirm that for me. Thank you so much. I'm glad you think I'm beautiful. It doesn't matter, okay? I know that about myself already. But thank you, I guess. You just have to get out there in real life and meet somebody. Let me tell you about what happened over the weekend. I go to a bar and I simply make a joke. Something really obviously blundering happened to the bartender. He spilled a drink. And I make a joke to the guy standing next to me. And do you know that man looked me directly in my retinas and said, not interested, and walked away? All I did was say it because it was very obvious. It was very obvious that things were happening at the bar. We were standing right in front. It happened. At no point was I trying to get to know this person in a romantic capacity. But that's how men react. They're insane, okay? They have no social skills. They have no hobbies. They have nothing to talk about, okay? Trying to talk to a man in the wild it's a humiliation ritual. Talking to a man in the wild is a humiliation ritual at this point. It'll happen when you least expect it. I think I will punch the next person that says that to me in the face. No, I do think I'm going to jail for assault and battery. I'm going to prison because I am going to punch the next person in the face. I don't have anything else to say. I'm going to punch you in the face because what? Anyway, I have a long list of other things that aren't helpful, but just know that being single is not a moral failing on your friends. They don't always want you to try to remedy it, and sometimes they just want you to listen to what they're saying and listen to how hard it is sometimes, especially when you have standards, especially when you know that you shouldn't just be with anybody. Because if I want to be with somebody, I'd be with somebody right now. But I don't want to just be with anybody, okay? Your single friends are allowed to be frustrated. They are allowed to be irritated, and they are allowed to talk to what they think are their friends about it. Okay? They don't need you to try and fix it because you're uncomfortable that they're single. And that's the reality of the situation, because a lot of you are just uncomfortable that your single friends are single, and it would make your life easier if they had a boyfriend, because that means that they could come around and do couple shit and all kinds of things that you want to do. Okay? Anyway, okay, I actually have work I need to do. I can't keep crashing out on the internet, but I had to say something.
First thing I noticed is how she starts off sounding reasonable, then slowly spirals into blaming men for everything wrong with her dating life. That is the pattern now. Personal frustration gets turned into a social diagnosis about men as a whole. One awkward interaction with one dude at a bar suddenly means men are insane, socially broken, and worthless to talk to. Imagine if a man talked about women like this after one bad interaction. They would call him bitter immediately. But because she's emotional and frustrated, people clap for it, like it is empowerment. And notice how she says, "I know I'm fantastic," over and over. That right there is modern dating ego in a nutshell. No self-reflection, no curiosity, no maybe I could improve something too. Just automatic self-certification. Meanwhile, men are expected to constantly self-improve, earn more, communicate better, heal trauma, and become emotionally perfect. That imbalance is exactly why a lot of men checked out mentally from dating culture.
You want me to be honest? I'm tired of feeling so much. I'm tired of being in my head.
That connects with, the same age bracket. Like some women want to.
And so this is an interesting thing, right? So dating, one of the things that I've struggled with, because I would rather date someone over 30, right? I'm 39, rather than be over 30. Would rather a bit younger than me, but rather close, because I want to be same maturity level, same life experience. But I've had this experience of just coming across, the dynamic is often different. It's like you get these exceptions, right? But on the whole, it's a really different dynamic. Like when I talk to guys and they're like, "Oh, I don't want to date women in the 30s," I actually get it. It's not that there's anything wrong with all women in their 30s, but it's really, really common to have these really like baggage-based experiences that they bring to. I don't mean like physical baggage, right? I mean like emotional baggage that they bring to the table. And it's like, ooh, and then it's like I'm suffering as a result because I'm going on these dates and I'm like, they've got like a checklist of things they need to check off on their list. Has he got this? Has he got? Oh, you better not have this characteristic. But it's like it's really not fun. You know what I mean? Like it's supposed to be, and so I get it. Like I'd rather date someone close, but I'm not having fun on these dates. It's this interesting, weird thing.
I actually respect that she admitted it instead of instantly calling men insecure. That already puts her ahead of a lot of people online. Because usually when men say this, they get shamed immediately. People act like men owe attraction and emotional labor to every age group equally. Nah. Men respond to energy first. And if every conversation feel like a trauma-informed interrogation, brother's gonna check out mentally. That "he better not have this characteristic" line was dead accurate too. A lot of modern dating became fear-based instead of connection-based. People are dating trying not to get hurt instead of trying to build something healthy.
I went to a Christian singles event, and here's why I think we're doomed to be single for the rest of our lives. That was a bit dramatic, but let me tell my story. So I went to singles night at Union Church's Charlotte campus. Now, I don't go to that church, but I started following Pastor Stephen since he was a guest pastor at my church earlier this month. And when I found out that he was writing a book on dating and relationships, I was interested because, listen, your girl could use some divine intervention in that area. But I'll be honest, I didn't want to go at first. I figured it's a Christian singles event. There's going to be 11 women there and like 2 men. Plus, they were advertising it as a conversation that you wouldn't expect to have at church. And I thought, I've heard enough of those modern dating and relationship podcasts. I don't need to hear anymore, especially not with a biblical spin. Instead of having meaningful conversations about finding and building Christ-centered relationships, the event was a Q&A about superficial stuff, like mostly whether to settle for someone who does not earn six figures. Like, that seemed to be the hot topic of the night. People were asking that same question over and over again. And honestly, all that I took from it was that we're focused on the wrong things. You know, as Christians, we're called to be set apart. We're supposed to focus on things like love and faith and character, but we're focused on the same worldly things as everybody else. Money, status, height. It just feels like we're missing the point when it comes to dating entirely. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that finances don't matter. I think it matters when you're building a life with someone, but we're not even at that level. After the Q&A, there was supposed to be a mixer, but I didn't know what was going on with that. There was no clear direction. We exited the auditorium and we were ushered out into the lobby. You know, people were hanging out, taking pictures, waiting to get their books signed. I saw a couple of church hugs, you know, side hugs, but I don't know that I saw any like actual connecting or like men and women like talking to each other. It's like we can't or we won't even have basic conversations, but we are so concerned about earning potential. We got these bingo cards that I'm sure were meant to break the ice, but I don't even know if that was mentioned. The prompts were simple, like what makes you smile, or do you have siblings? Just followed on Instagram, but nothing about them seemed like they could spark meaningful conversations or show that someone was set apart or serious about their faith or even dating or like interested in dating. And yes, icebreakers are meant to spark conversation, but it was just so surface level. Like, where was the depth? At an event like this, I would have expected more encouragement to actually show who you are in Christ or to like have meaningful and intentional conversations. Again, we're meant to be set apart, but what was the difference between this and a regular singles mixer? And let me know, because I don't think I've ever been to a regular singles mixer either. And to be clear, I'm not critiquing the pastor. Like, even he seemed a little frustrated with the money conversation that kept coming up. Really, I'm talking about Christian dating and how things just seem off. This event could have been a great opportunity for people to connect in a meaningful way, but instead, like, it just felt like going through the motions. So I ended up leaving the event. It was late and I wasn't sure what was happening, but now I'm wondering if I missed out on something, because I've seen some clips from the DC version that happened the next day, and it seemed like a whole different vibe. It looked like there was an actual mixer and people were encouraged to actually talk to each other. I saw a clip of the pastor taking a camera from a guy who was probably on the production team. He's asking him, like, do you dance? And then he like pointed him in the direction of a woman to like get them to dance. Wonderful. I don't think that happened at Charlotte. At least it didn't happen at the Charlotte event while I was there. But to be fair, I wouldn't count the entire thing as a waste. I got to connect with some amazing Christian women who I'm looking forward to staying in touch with. One of those women actually goes to my church. She sat next to me. Like, we go to the same campus and everything. What are the odds? I also met another woman who goes to the host church, and I would love to visit the church one Sunday and hang out with her. Even though the event missed the mark for me in some ways, I am grateful for those connections. But DC, Charlotte, what was your experience? Did you feel like the event lived up to your expectations? Did you connect with anybody in a meaningful way? Did you play bingo? Well, and for everybody else, what do you think? Are we focusing on the wrong things in Christian dating? Let's talk about it.
A Christian event should not feel like a disguised dating auction. If the first big question is whether a man makes six figures, then the room already lost the plot. That is not discernment. That is greed, with a Bible verse sitting on top of it. Men are not asking for perfection. They just want somebody who is not treating them like a financial resume with skin. And the worst part is the fake surprise when the event feels shallow. Of course it felt shallow if nobody was willing to go past status and numbers. Men are sick of being judged like products while everybody else calls it standards.
Hey guys, so this is
a vulnerable post. I don't usually make vulnerable posts, but as a 30-year-old girl who goes to a Slavic Christian church, I'm single, it is sometimes so hard being in this community, not because like people are not great, because I have such a blessed community, and I'm so in love with my church and my community as a whole, but there are just times when I definitely feel like there's something wrong with me. I don't fit in with youth. I don't fit in with people my age, biggest people my age. I'm married and have kids. I don't really fit in with the older, obviously, because there's nothing really to talk about. Would they see me less than because I am not married and I don't have a kid? Sometimes it's just really, really hard being in a, maybe this doesn't even apply to like Slavic communities, but just Christian communities as a whole, especially when you're older and you're still single, because they don't intentionally make you feel that there's something wrong with you. It's just, you definitely feel very much left out. Not their fault. Like, I'm telling you, it's nobody's fault. They do all that they can in terms of like making me feel welcome, trying to give me things to do and things to stay involved in church, and I do. I stay involved and I stay, you know, consistent, and I talk to people, and I really do try my best to fit in, but sometimes it just feels like it would be so much less painful to not go anywhere at all, you know? Even though that's not the whole purpose of church, it's still a major factor in church and in communities. You have to fit in somewhere, you know? There are some times when we pray, like when we're praying as a church for like the kids, and the kids come out before Sunday school. I just feel so emotional in those moments that they're like, should be, or like I feel like, oh, this is so dumb. I feel like my kids should be up there. Not that, you know, it's so stupid to think like that, but just like, I have people my age in my church who are like 30 or 29, and their kids are up there going to Sunday school, and I'm sitting in the front row with the youth because there's nowhere else for me to really to be or to like fit in with. And then my friends that are like so much younger, and I love them, like God knows I love them so much, but like seeing them like be put in like positions or like given more responsibility because they're married, and I'm over here just like constantly, it's just like constantly on the sidelines. Especially when like ministers or leaders will sometimes say like, pray more, make sure that you're looking for your spouse, going to conferences, praying for your spouse, like as if I'm doing something wrong or I'm not doing enough, you know? And sometimes I feel like that, like people in my community think that there's something wrong with me, or that I'm not trying hard enough, or I don't know. It's definitely a hard day today, but probably because I'm on my period, because I'm not usually emotional. I'm a really like positive person when it comes to like these things, and I don't really let it affect me. I'm constantly swallowing like my feelings or my emotions because I don't like this right here, you know? And there's also that constant fear of like your single friends or your friends who just recently got married, that they're all going to start becoming friends with only married people, and then you're going to be kind of left behind, and they're all going to start having kids, and then you're not really going to fit into their life at all, and then you have to become friends with even younger people because it's the only people you really fit in with, even though it doesn't make sense like at the age level. But what do you do when your friends who are married end up leaving you? Not all my friends. I have really good friends who are married and who really, really include me, and just I'm very included in their life, and they do such a good job. But I've had friends who've gotten married and just we never were friends after that. I promise you guys, literally yesterday I was talking to my friends, and I'm just like, oh, I'm chilling, like I'm fine, like I trust God, I know everything's in his hands, like I don't even want to get married, I'm very secure in who I am, and I am. Like if you know me, you know I am. I don't complain about this kind of stuff ever. I guess today is just a few things piled up, and then like on my monthly, there's just definitely a gap, you know, and I feel like just society as a whole, where we're kind of like the forgotten generation, where if you're not married by like your late 20s or your 30s, you're just like forgotten. There's not much for you. That's actually why I had like such a huge desire to start a young adults ministry for like all the young adults in this area, in my area, from different churches and different backgrounds, because we are like kind of forgotten. Very few churches do have true young adults groups, you know, anybody who's like older than 25 who's single. There's always home groups for married people, for teens, for youth. There's stuff for kids church, Sunday school, like whatever. They have communities, and then we're just kind of like weird, awkward in the middle, like we're not married and we don't really fit in with youth. unless we're serving the youth. So yeah, it's not a really fun place to be in life. I question a lot why this is my burden right now, but life is good actually, guys. Like, I really can't complain. My life is wonderful. I feel like I'm so incredibly blessed, and I know that there's somebody out there for me, and like, whatever, it'll happen. And even if it doesn't happen, I'm like a pretty secure person in myself. Like, I'm not really looking for somebody to like be my other half, or, you know, to complete me. But it would just be nice sometimes to be married and to have a partner and not have to worry about all these things that I have to worry about as a single older girl, like taxes and car problems and just money and buying a home. Like, should I buy a home, or should I wait for a husband? I don't know. It's like all these stupid little things that nobody really talks about. But I do have a really, really wonderful life. Really wonderful life. I love my life, guys. I'm more blessed than most, but some days are harder than most, especially around that time of the month. But this is really weird.
A lot of this is not even about church. It is about where a woman thinks she is supposed to fit in once marriage did not happen yet. And that is the part men understand more than people admit. When a person's whole value system is tied to a ring and kids, single people start feeling like background noise. That pressure does not come out of nowhere. It is the culture telling her, quietly at first, that she is late. So now every prayer feels like a reminder. Every family feels like a mirror. Every room feels like a ranking. That is why men move cautious too. Because once identity gets tied to status, love starts feeling like a scoreboard.
So I have a question, and this is a genuine question. I'm not even asking for a friend, I am the friend. Are people getting asked out on dates in real life? Because it literally just occurred to me, I was in Sainsbury's and there was a guy next to me, and I thought, oh, like, how cute would it be if he was to ask me out? And then I honestly realised that I literally can't remember the last time I've been asked out. And I actually think in London I've probably been asked out in real life like twice in the whole time I've been here. And I've been here for like a really long time. I also don't have guys slide into my DMs. I've got people that I've never met before that live in different countries spamming me with nice stuff, which if that is you, thank you, because that is a confidence boost I needed in my day. But like, I don't actually have people that maybe I've met or friend of a friend or someone that lives in the area being like, hey, random, would you like to go for a drink? Like, is this happening to other people, or is it just me that's a failure?
She's basically just looking for attention. She thrives on the DMs she gets from guys across the world, but she wants more attention from guys in real life. On the off chance she gets asked out on a date by a guy, she'll either reject him or get dug out by Chad.
And I'm the idiot that dug it out.
She already getting attention online from men across the world, but it still does not feel real enough. That tells you attention alone is not satisfying anymore. Social media created infinite validation, but almost no real connection. And men peep that too. A lot of guys stopped cold approaching because they assume women already flooded with options anyway. Why risk rejection in public when she probably got 50 dudes in her phone already? So both sides sitting there waiting while pretending not to care. That is why modern dating feels dead in public spaces now. Everybody overthinking and underconnecting.
And another thing, I can't believe there are guys still looking for a wife in the big 26. Like, those guys genuinely baffle me. Like, I look at them in just amazement, because it's like, dude, you don't see what's going on out here? You don't see everybody losing everything? You don't see people's lives falling apart? people getting exposed, people losing their kids, custody battles, custody exchanges, violent custody exchanges, another person raising your kids. You don't see people over here just their lives falling apart from trying to have in-home cat. You know, like you don't see that shit. You don't see none of this shit going on. Like you just want a wife. You just want some in-home bussy. You just want some in-home cat. Yo, dude, you don't see what's going on. Like I got homies right now that look at me like I'm crazy because I'm not looking for marriage, and I look at them like they're crazy because they are looking for marriage. It's crazy, man. Yo, 2026, right? Free game.
He said he can't believe there are still men planning weddings in 2026 after watching countless relationships collapse right in front of everyone. From his perspective, the warning signs are impossible to ignore. Every week, there seems to be another story about a breakup, a costly divorce, a custody battle, or someone losing years of effort trying to build a family that didn't last. Many men are looking around and asking themselves a simple question. If so many outcomes end badly, why rush toward the same destination? More are choosing to protect their peace, focus on personal goals, build financial security, and avoid situations they believe carry unnecessary risk. What once seemed like a natural milestone now looks, to many observers, like a gamble with increasingly uncertain rewards. According to this viewpoint, much of the frustration comes from the belief that modern dating standards have become heavily one-sided. Many men feel they are expected to provide support, stability, attention, and commitment, while receiving less appreciation in return. They argue that concerns raised by males are often brushed aside instead of being discussed seriously. Whenever problems are mentioned, they say the conversation quickly turns toward criticizing men, rather than examining the role females may have played in creating those difficulties. Because of that experience, some have stopped investing energy into pursuing long-term commitments and have redirected their attention toward careers, hobbies, business opportunities, and personal freedom. Another complaint frequently raised is that accountability appears selective. Critics argue that many females demand honesty, loyalty, and responsibility from partners, while resisting criticism directed toward themselves. From their perspective, meaningful relationships require both sides to acknowledge mistakes and make improvements. Without that willingness, resentment builds and trust slowly disappears. As more stories circulate online showing failed marriages and painful separations, some men see those examples as lessons rather than exceptions. Instead of viewing marriage as a dream worth chasing, they increasingly see it as a legal and emotional arrangement, carrying consequences that may outweigh the benefits. Because of all this, growing numbers of men are stepping away from the traditional path that previous generations followed. They are not necessarily angry or bitter. Many simply believe the current environment no longer encourages healthy partnerships. Their argument is that females have played a major role in shaping a dating culture that rewards unrealistic expectations, constant comparison, and endless dissatisfaction. Till there is greater willingness to reflect on those issues and address them directly, many males will continue choosing independence over commitment. From their standpoint, the declining interest in marriage is not a mystery at all. It is a response to years of experiences that convince them the risks have become too high and the rewards far less certain than they once appeared.
Something that no one ever talks about. When men found out all it takes is $150 for one night with the woman of your dreams, it completely changed the game. It completely changed the game and changed the whole dating pool. I know dudes that used to want to be a husband and all these kind of things, and now they don't want to go to the gym no more. They don't want to brush their hair. They don't go to church. They don't go nowhere. They don't want to go out. They don't even want to go on dating apps for looking for women. All they want to do is go to work and wait till they check come and take $150 and go find them the woman of their dreams for that night.
He asked a question that many people don't seem willing to discuss openly. Why are so many men walking away from dating in 2026? More are reaching the conclusion that pursuing romance no longer provides enough value to justify the effort, expense, and emotional investment involved. They look around and see endless stories of heartbreak, failed commitments, broken families, and relationships that collapse after years of dedication. Because of that, many have decided that chasing long-term companionship is no longer worth the risk. Instead of spending years trying to build something serious, they are choosing simpler arrangements that require less sacrifice and fewer obligations. Females have played a major role in creating this outcome. Many men believe modern dating has become filled with unrealistic expectations, constant demands, and standards that are nearly impossible to satisfy. They feel pressured to prove themselves financially, emotionally, and socially before even being considered worthy of attention. Meanwhile, they often see little appreciation for the effort required to meet those expectations. After experiencing rejection, disappointment, and endless criticism, countless males have reached a point where they no longer see a reason to continue participating in a system they believe is working against them. He frequently mentioned is the growing belief that commitment is no longer respected the way it once was. Many men feel they are expected to invest significant amounts of time, money, and energy into building a future, only to watch that investment disappear when circumstances change. As stories of divorce settlements, custody disputes, and broken promises continue to spread across social media, more individuals are becoming cautious. Rather than risking years of hard work, they are choosing options that involve fewer responsibilities and far less emotional exposure. To them, that choice feels safer and far more predictable. This is why increasing numbers of men are stepping away from traditional courtship altogether. They are focusing on personal growth, financial stability, physical fitness, business ventures, and hobbies that provide direct rewards. Many believe females have helped shape a dating environment that prioritizes appearances, status, and material expectations over loyalty, respect, and genuine partnership. As long as those concerns remain unresolved, more males are likely to continue avoiding serious commitments. In their view, the decline in dating participation is not happening by accident. It is the result of years of frustration that have convinced many that pursuing relationships no longer offers the benefits it once promised.
Men are finally waking up. They are starting to see that being loyal, giving, and doing everything right does not mean that you will be appreciated. Too many good men have been bruised by women that only saw them as a wallet, a handyman, or an emotional punching bag. Those same men are now choosing themselves. They are choosing peace as well over pressure of the world that they have to be a husband and a father. They're literally protecting their hearts. And that's not because they don't love women. They are tired of being drained by the wrong women. If women do not see that y'all are paying attention to exactly who some of us are, and some of us are just not for the right thing. They are falling to societal pressures, their little circle that's around them, their mothers, their aunties, their sisters, their friends. They want them to be the leaders in the relationship, and that's just not how it works in this world. What we say doesn't go all the time. When you're in a relationship, you have to work together as two, not as one that is being put on this pedestal that they have to get everything done for them and men have to do what women are saying. It does not work like that. Pretty doesn't work anymore. It's not about what we look like. It's about how we treat men and how they feel. And when the man knows his worth, he not going to stay for no drama. The new standards are for women is that you have to bring peace. You have to pour back into him. It's about a woman that understands that love isn't about taking. It's about building with that man and not trying to build on him. I truly believe that the era of good men is not ended, but good men have woken up and they understand their worth.
More men are beginning to rethink everything they were taught about relationships. For years, men believed that loyalty, sacrifice, generosity, patience, and dedication would naturally lead to appreciation and respect. Instead, countless men feel they poured their energy into building stable partnerships only to discover that their efforts were taken for granted. That realization has pushed many to focus on recovery, personal growth, and emotional well-being. From this perspective, truly good-hearted partners have become increasingly rare. Society constantly promotes the idea that people can make reckless choices without facing consequences, while responsibility is often pushed aside. As a result, many males have stopped chasing approval and started investing that energy back into themselves.
One of the biggest changes happening right now is that men are learning to prioritize their own mental health. Rather than constantly seeking validation through dating, they are spending more time improving their finances, strengthening friendships, developing skills, and creating a life they genuinely enjoy. Many have concluded that constantly trying to satisfy expectations that never seem to end only leads to frustration and exhaustion. Instead of measuring their worth through romantic success, they are discovering confidence through personal achievement. That mindset has allowed many to move through life with less stress and greater peace of mind. A growing belief is that emotional security cannot be outsourced to someone else. Many men once hoped they would find comfort, support, and stability through a relationship, only to find themselves feeling drained, anxious, or unappreciated. Because of those experiences, they have become more protective of their inner peace. They no longer want to risk their mental health trying to maintain connections that leave them feeling depleted. In their view, self-respect comes from setting boundaries and refusing to remain in situations that constantly demand more while giving less in return. Protecting emotional well-being has become a priority rather than an afterthought.